The saying, "what doesn't kill you makes you stronger," is certainly true for bacteria. Frequent, low doses of antibiotics that are not strong enough to kill all bacteria encourage antibiotic resistance, which can then spread. As antibiotics become more prevalent, bacteria are getting more opportunities to develop and spread resistance. While the discovery of antibiotics was a boon that saved countless lives and increased life expectancy, a world flooded with antibiotics poses an alarming danger of returning to the pre-antibiotic dark ages. This is the third video in our antibiotic resistance series, so if you'd like to learn more about the history and the science behind this trend, make sure to check out these videos first. In 2019, scientists from the University of York investigated rivers for 14 common antibiotics. They sampled rivers from 72 countries across 6 continents. They found that an astounding 65% of rivers had antibiotics in them. Dr. Alistair Boxall, one of the scientists who worked on the study, said, "In many ways, antibiotic resistance is like the plastic pollution problem." Wait a minute, plastic pollution? How could that possibly be related to antibiotic resistance? Well, the answer lies in thinking about the journey of antibiotic drugs from pharmaceutical companies to the world's rivers. Though they all basically have the same starting and ending place, there are actually several different paths that antibiotics may take in between, some more noble than others. The first one that may come to mind is the classic use of antibiotics that we've been emphasizing throughout this series. Antibiotics are used in hospitals and by the general public to fight bacterial infections and save lives. After they've served their purpose, antibiotics are flushed into sewers and wastewater plants, eventually going into rivers. A source of antibiotic pollution that you may be less familiar with is in agriculture and aquaculture. The large majority of antibiotics aren't used on sick animals. They're actually used to promote growth and prevent illnesses in healthy animals. All of these preventative antibiotics end up in the environment. The problem of unnecessary antibiotic pollution can be seen as a tragedy of the commons. While some people benefit from overusing antibiotics for agriculture and aquaculture, everyone bears the more unseen cost of antibiotic resistance. As Dr. Boxall said, "the issue is we don't think about where our waste goes, and that it has a life beyond us." If people only used what they needed, less antibiotics would be present in the environment, buying us more time to develop new antibiotics effective against resistant strains. Right now, one of you may be looking at a bottle of antibiotics on your table thinking, "having all these antibiotics in the environment sounds horrible. The doctor recommended me to take the full course of antibiotics, but I feel fine, so maybe I can skip taking the rest." This line of thinking is absolutely wrong. You should always take all the antibiotics prescribed to you, even if you feel like it is no longer necessary. The situation in which a doctor prescribes you antibiotics is completely different from the mass use of antibiotics in agriculture. Using antibiotics unnecessarily promotes antibiotic resistance, but so does not using them when they are necessary. This may sound a little bit confusing, but it goes back to the idea that we began this video with. Whatever doesn't kill bacteria makes it stronger. The doctor prescribed you antibiotics to kill disease-causing bacteria. If you do a half-hearted job of this, you're only creating an opportunity for whatever may still be alive to reproduce and rally its now resistant family to rise up and cause havoc in your body once again. This may all sound dreadful, but many people are working to combat antibiotic resistance. The World Health Organization views antibiotic resistance as one of the biggest threats to global health and has been leading multiple initiatives to combat it. Many other organizations are also doing their part, including Animal Welfare Approved, the Center for Food Safety, Center for Science in the Public Interest, and Center for a Livable Future at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, among others. And you can do your part too. Safeguard your own health and the health of your community against bacteria by washing your hands for at least 20 seconds, getting all recommended vaccines, and using antibiotics only as prescribed, no more and no less. By reducing the chance for bacteria to multiply and spread, you can also stop the spread of antibiotic resistance.